Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Scout Tactical channel. Today the Mossberg 500 tabletop review. Now if you're watching the channel, and I know you are, Friday, which this is Monday, we did the shoot with the Sarge, my buddy the Sarge at the range. He got this gun out, the 500 Tactical, and shot it up at the range. We had a good time, it was pretty fun. But today I wanted to do some features so that you kind of know a little more about the gun and what it's capable of and what it would be used for. Now this isn't going to be a how to use a shotgun class or video. It's really more of, hey, this is this gun and just reviewing this gun. The philosophy of should you use a shotgun for defense is all up to you. I think I will go ahead and tell you that it's right for some people. If you know how to work the weapon system and it's in the right situation, it can be very effective, but you need to know what you're doing. So the rest is up to you. As far as a gun goes, the Mossberg 500 is absolutely a prolific staple of the gun world. If you don't own one, you really should. The Mossberg 500 and the Remington 870 are easily two of the most popular shotguns ever made. I'm sure that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of them, been made over the years. So they come in a lot of configurations. I'm going to use the analogy of an AR-15. If you guys are familiar with those, I'm sure you are if you're watching the channel. They're very modular. On the AR you can change out all kinds of pieces and parts and make it just what you want, and the same kind of goes true for the shotgun. As a matter of fact, the shotgun was doing it with some of the barrel changes before the AR. So pretty easy to do. For example, this is always going to be 12 gauge in this particular shotgun, and it's a 3-inch chamber, which means it'll shoot 2 3/4 and 3-inch. So in an AR you can change caliber, not necessarily so on the shotgun, but you can change barrels, right? So the barrel you change, you take off the cap, put on the new barrel, it just literally pulls off, puts on the new one. You can change the stock, as you saw the Sarge show you at the range. He added this telestock, which came with this pistol grip. He added a Picatinny rail up front to do the light laser combo that he likes to run on there. You can change the sights. As you see, it comes with the standard bead sight. It comes with no rear sight, but it has the holes. You can even run a scope. Of course, that's more of a hunting situation, but you can run a red dot on the top. Some of the tactical guys like that. So, sky's the limit. You can change the tube to add more shells. A lot of stuff. Now this is a Mossberg 500. It's actually just the 500 Defender. It's not the 500 Tactical. It's pretty base level, but the Sarge wanted to just get a base gun, $300 to $400, and then put his own stuff on. He added this ATI telestock with a shell holder. It holds 5 more rounds. Factory it holds 5 in the tube, but be aware that if you're going to use more of a hunting model, a lot of those have a plug in there, and they're holding 3 or 2 in the tube, 1 in the chamber. So your rounds count may be greatly diminished in a hunting model. 2 versus 5 is a pretty big deal. And you can also extend this to a 7 in a lot of cases by adding the extension on there. It has the 18-inch barrel, but the 20 is also becoming pretty common in the tactical world because the 20 gives you a little more swing, but it's a little less compact, and it gives you that extra 2 shells. The grip on this one, the front grip, the foregrip stock, is really standard, but again, today they even have Magpul has a full line of accessories for the shotgun, different grips, all kinds of stuff. The sky's the limit. You can make it what you want. And the 12 gauge is absolutely devastating as a self-defense weapon in a close range situation. But I will warn you, and again, I'm not going to try to get into the philosophy too much. The 12 gauge, you have to be able to shoot it because it does take some operation. It's not as point and shoot as other weapons may be for you. It has some recoil to it, and 12 gauge is definitely there. Nothing you can't handle. And there's quite a blast if you do have to shoot this thing indoors. Let me assure you, it is a concussion like a grenade went off nearly. So pretty extreme, but very effective. The 12 gauge has been clearing houses with law enforcement for decades after decades after decades. Of course, now the AR-15 has fallen a little more into favor, and I'm all for that with the law enforcement community. But just watch what you're doing. You know, you got to get the right ammo and the right gun for the right situation, just as in any situation. The operation of the gun is real simple because most people can do it. You load from the bottom, and again, I told you I wasn't going to do a how to do a shotgun class, but you load from the bottom, holds 5, and then you rack the shotgun. So, right now, once it's once it's racked forward, one thing the Sarge was talking about, somebody's already emailed me about. He said, what was he talking about the dual buttons? Well, it's this button here is what he's talking about. It's on the bottom side of the trigger guard. You have to push that if you want to reopen the shotgun once you've put it forward without shooting it. That's an easy way to reload. And the Sarge was just mentioning that some models come with dual buttons. This one just has one single button, as well as the safety. Now on the Mossberg 500, it's on the top. You can see the red dot means it's on fire. Now it's on safe. See that you would activate that with probably your thumb, maybe your finger, but it's where you can see it. If your face is on the stock, there's the safety. I kind of like that. The Remington 870 is here on the trigger guard. You have to kind of look to the side to see if the little red line is showing. Look to this side to see if the black line is showing, or vice versa, whatever it is. And I don't like that as much. It's real easy to feel with your finger. You can do it with your trigger finger on the Remington, but you don't really know what you're doing unless you're super familiar with the system. Whereas with the Mossberg, in my opinion, if you flip this, you can see the red dot on the top with your face on the stock, and you know, if you just lift it up, you can see it. So a little easier to see that safety if that's something that's really bothering you. And of course, you're not going to see it if it's dark and you're operating in a dark environment. All in all, for $300 to $400, the shotgun is definitely a defense tool and a sporting tool to consider. Remember that the range of loads is really what makes this thing awesome, because you can shoot number 7.5 or 8 bird shot. You can shoot 6s. You can shoot number 4s. The lower the number is in shotguns, the bigger the pellet is in the shell, if that makes sense. And then you get down into the, and 4 is popular for defense. Then you get into the double-aught buck, which is, of course, the most popular self-defense shot shell ever made, I would have to assume. Double-aught buck is very common. And it's normally 8 or 9 pellets, 9 pellets the most common, of double-aught size buckshot, and that's very effective as a defense tool. And it's also not super bad about over penetrating. And I have to be careful what I say. I don't want you to take all this as the gospel and think, okay, I can shoot that in the house and it won't penetrate through. That's not the case. You can shoot a little 380 in your house and it could go through the walls and outside and hurt an innocent. So you have to be careful. If you shoot anything, it could penetrate whatever you're shooting at and go through. So please be aware of that. I don't care what caliber it is. It can happen with a bow and arrow. But the 12 gauge is pretty popular, even in double-aught buck. Now there are slugs, which is just one huge piece of lead basically coming out, like a mega rifle bullet, and they are very effective on deer. But I'm not going to recommend them for self-defense, because although they are a long-range weapon in a home situation, self-defense for home, I guess I should clarify, that slug is going to be a lot of lead coming out and could have an over-penetration problem. Plus, slugs have quite a bit of recoil. They kick like a mule. So you have to be aware of what you're doing. Again, tailor the load for the situation you're in. If you expect to use your shotgun on a little longer situation, over 25 yards or so, maybe slugs are right for you. If you're going to go primarily as an indoor weapon, maybe it's number 4 or double-aught buck. You have to do some testing and some experimentation. But just remember, the shotgun's very effective, but also very brutal inside a house. Everybody's going to know it went off. All right, guys. I hope this helps as a quick tabletop to the range session. You saw at the range that it can definitely do some damage. It blows those paper targets up pretty well. Guys, I appreciate the views and the subscriptions. Keep them coming. As always, the channel is growing pretty fast. As you know, Scout Tactical channel is the original, but it's the first of 3, which is also Scout Prepper and Scout Hunter. I hope that you watch and subscribe to all 3 of those channels. Check us out on the web at scouttactical.com, and on Facebook, this channel is the Scout Tactical channel. As always, thanks for watching.